Good morning. Welcome to the Week 9 Boomer Bust Show. Guys, get in here, get your start set questions. We're here to answer it. I'm your host, Bryce. I'm here with Sully. Sully, how did this last week go for you fantasy-wise while we wait for some questions to pop up?
I think it went okay. I think like many fantasy managers, you're starting to get a good feel for what your team is at this point. So I'm in the midst of blowing one up. I have a couple of decent shots, a 7-1, a couple of 6-2s where I got to tinker with. But last week was kind of what I thought it would be. I pulled out victories where I thought I would, and I got pounded where I should. So no real surprises.
Yeah.
Yourself?
I had two really exciting endings. So I was down 3.5 points or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Just Jaden Daniels to be play and one play left on that game. So that ended up nice for me.
That was
Hail Mary won me the funny thing is I was like playing Call of Duty at the time, and my record in that league's really good. Like I think it's 7-1 now, but I was like, even if I lose, I'm gonna make the playoffs. And I just get messages like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you won," because my team's loaded. But I also played like the second best team in the league, so that won me that. And then I had another league. I was down 1 point and a kind of a must win. Or 2 points and must win in the Giants' last drive. Malik Neighbors was able to get like 2 catches for 23 yards and won me by like 0.3 points.
And were you watching?
I was paying attention to that one because that was the Monday night or Sunday night game.
Yeah, right? I have a couple of Neighbors shares, and it was quite frustrating actually because he was dropping passes like he never does in that game. So, but looks like we got some action rolling in here.
Rob Kane, what's up? What's up? And then he has a question. Okay, Sutton, Ridley, Wandell, Cocker, or Leggett. Start 2.
So I've on a weekly basis kind of shit all over Calvin Ridley, but I think it's time to start him now based on situation, right? Like it looks like he's clearly the guy to go to there. So Ridley's one of them. Leggett's a little banged up. He's questionable, but supposed to play. Jalen Coker is an interesting cat, an unsigned free agent who's starting to perform. Sutton gets the Ravens, and I think that's why I'm going to go with Sutton and Ridley here, is that the Ravens are an exceptional defense against the run and just garbage against the pass. So I think I'll go Sutton and Ridley here. How about you?
I'm definitely going Ridley with Rudolph back there. He's actually got some value now. No real competition for touches. Then their running back core might be decimated today as well, so he could just get a ton of work. And then I'll just go with Wandell Robinson. He's got a nice little matchup today. He still gets a decent amount of targets on a weekly basis. I think he had a season low, almost second season lowest of 5 targets, but he caught all 5 of them last week. So I'll just go those two based on volume.
Slayton is sort of coming around in that offense. They should trade him. They really should, but we'll see.
I don't know why they wouldn't at this point. They're definitely not competing for anything.
Right.
Starting Hockenson over Bowers can't make the lineup if you can't score TDs. Okay, so it's a TD only league, I guess. Yeah.
I don't hate it. I think that Hockenson could have quite a good debut here tonight. I'm obviously
Bowers only has 1 touchdown in the whole year, so
I'm a little biased too. So I definitely have Bowers ranked higher than TJ Hockenson, but I can see if you're shooting upside that Hockenson would have it for sure.
Yeah, especially if it's a TD only league. I mean, if it's not TD only, I'm starting Brock Bowers. I mean, dude can put 8 for 80 easily all day, every day. So TD only league, it could change I'd never played in a league like that, so I'd never really put my mindset in that type of.
I still have one standard scoring league, which might as well be a TD only league, but
that's so weird. I couldn't play. I'd be like, I'm out.
It's painful. It's painful. I like points. I like bonus league crap we play in. So
ETN or Tillman, half PPR. I feel like we'll get a lot of Cedric Tillman today.
Yeah, I love Cedric Tillman. This is a tough matchup, though. We'll see if both Jameis and Tillman can keep it rolling. ETN's scheduled to play. He is banged up, so I think the clear path to touches here is Travis Etienne. I don't like it very much, but that's where I lean.
Yeah, if Etienne's playing, probably gonna stick him in there as well. I'd like to see more than just 1 week out of Tillman. to see what
he's kind of given you. He's kind of given you 2 weeks. He was even a little bit relevant with DTR and all three quarterbacks played in that game, so he was a little bit relevant there. Obviously, went off last week, but the Chargers are decent. That worries me a little bit.
Javonte or Rico Dowdle?
I probably have Javonte ranked higher. That is a tough matchup against the Ravens D, though. So
he does get a lot of PPR work, which is nice.
He does, and I'm just not comfortable with anything out of the Dallas Cowboys backfield. I think it's a mess. If I had to start one, clearly it would be Rico Dowdle. Ezekiel Elliott's a healthy scratch today, and Dalvin gets to run 12 times for 17 yards again today. So, but I'll go with Javonte here.
Yeah, I'll go with Javonte as well. I don't know. I feel like Dalvin Cook could be the guy that starts to take over that backfield, and that's still ugly.
I just don't think there's anything left there. Like, he looked terrible in New York. He looked terrible in Baltimore. He's looked terrible in Dallas. I just think he's done.
Yeah. These running backs, like, out of nowhere, just top 5 to bleh sometimes.
Yeah.
Daylight savings got me here on time. I was wondering why my oven, I didn't even know time changed today until somebody.
I was wondering why I'm so refreshed and rested today. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, oh yeah, the clock's changed. So
yeah, it was like 7 a.m. I was like, man,
I'll take it.
Way too rested for that. Hubbard or McConkey at flex, full PPR.
Wow. I think I'm Ladd here. I don't think that Surtain is going to come into the slot to take away McConkey.
Yeah, we got Quentin Johnston back too.
Yeah.
Which probably gets Surtain's attention, I imagine.
I would think so. And DJ Chark might even play in that game, and he could get some of their attention on the boundary as well. So I do like Chuba Hubbard. I think he's been a sneaky good fantasy asset this year. Ladd seemed to be heating up the last couple of games, and he's getting healthier. So I'm going to go with him here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ladd McConkey as well. I thought he would be one of these guys that kind of mid-season starts to turn things up a notch. Seems like he and Justin Herbert are kind of putting things together. And he scored a long touchdown, which you really don't see often from.
I think you're right. It's kind of that time of the season where you see the rookie take an extra step, like they're starting to get a little bit more comfortable. We saw a little bit better Marvin Harrison Jr. last week, and it's coming. So hopefully.
Flacco or Murray scored 15 with Dell already.
Nice to have a good start. I think Flacco does well against Minnesota tonight. We're giving up the most points to opposing wide receivers on the season. I don't know how we're doing against quarterbacks, but Flacco, we've talked about this plenty of times, Bryce and I. Guys like Dalton and Flacco, they've had their career. They're just enjoying what they have left, and they don't give a shit. And clearly Flacco's in that starting role because they got to get their passing game going. So I like Joe Flacco a lot. That said, I have Kyler Murray at 9, and I'll be rolling with Kyler against the Bears. And I know it's not the greatest matchup for quarterbacks, but I expect 6 to 8 at least out of Kyler's legs. So I'll go with Kyler. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, you see these defenses that match up so well against quarterbacks, and how many of them are mobile, right? Having a mobile quarterback just opens up so much more play opportunity. So I will also take Kyler Murray here with just the floor play with his legs. Flacco could be like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He'd give you 4 touchdowns one week and then 1 and 4 picks the next. So it's a little bit of a risk there. But I'm in some spots where I'm forced to start him. So
I've been trying to trade for him, especially in the roster where I have Anthony Richardson, but.
Oh yeah,
it's not.
I'm glad I avoided. I avoided Anthony Richardson like the plague because I thought he was not an accurate passer, and come to believe it, he's not.
Yeah, I didn't draft him. I drafted Bryce Young in that league. Yay! So I think it was
seems like no matter what you were getting screwed,
about mid-season. I put a huge package together with another manager, and I ended up with Breece Hall and Anthony Richardson out of it. So both of them aren't exactly great right now, but
Breece is better than miss. He's hit and miss.
That offense is so frustrating. But anyway.
I had a lot of lineups this past week, and I've got Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. So both of them did pretty darn good for me.
Not a bad catch from Wilson there, hey?
That was awesome. That catch was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I think we were right though. Oh, sorry, I almost skipped this. We bringing on Devontae Adams did not hurt Garrett Wilson. I think the touchdown upside has gone up tremendously. Sure, he's maybe not getting as many targets because there was that one game he had like 18 or something absurd or 20 or something. But
yeah, he did.
You really don't want. That's just not something that's sustainable, right? I mean, we've only seen something like that sustainable like maybe once in our entire lives, and that was Cooper Kupp a few years ago was getting an absurd amount on every single week, and for some reason teams couldn't stop it. But then you see the next year Cooper Kupp's hurt. He's gotten hurt this year already. Like that's a lot of wear and tear. You don't want your receivers to get that much volume. Well, you do, but at the same time, it's not good for longevity, it appears. But he's also 30.
Totally.
Full flex PPR, my choices are Madison, Bucky, Bigsby, or I could drop Warren and get Cocker, Slayton, Elijah Moore, or Tolbert. So out of these options, would you start any of them, or would you drop Warren to start any of the guys mentioned below?
I think I would start either Bucky or Madison here. Madison has been quietly pretty solid of 10 to 12-ish a week, maybe even more. Bigsby's a little banged up along with ETN in Tennessee, and both of those guys are it might even be a Ernest Johnson game for them this week. Dropping Warren, I don't dislike.
Especially for Slayton. I would just do that anyway. I wouldn't start Slayton this week, but I would drop Warren for him.
Yeah. Elijah Moore is interesting to me too because he's starting to come on with that quarterback change.
Even Jerry Jeudy had himself a nice little week. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular, but he had like 12 points. That's out of a last flex option. I'll take 12 points all day.
Totally,
every day. Yeah.
Totally. So I think with Jameis, it's a different story. But again, this week, I just don't like them against the Chargers very much. And one thing, if you look at Cleveland's schedule in terms of a fantasy schedule, it's pretty rough. The next 3-4 weeks in terms of matchups that they have. So I think this week I'm going to start Alexander Madison, and if I can afford to drop Warren, which it looks like I can based on these running backs, I'll pick up probably Elijah Moore here. I think he has more long-term play than Slayton, but wouldn't argue either one of them as being a bad move.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll probably start Bucky Irving here. I think he's just the best player out of these guys. There's no third down running back on that team. It's just whatever running back in is getting the work. And it seems like that offense is going to have to start moving through their running backs. So honestly, I don't think Bucky Irving or Rachaad White are bad starts on a week-to-week basis. It's just their ceiling is capped really, really low because it's a 50-50 workload, right? So you just kind of got to hope for double-digit points. I feel like both of them honestly have a double-digit point floor with how both of them are using their in the pass game and how much they utilize the run game as well. So
yeah, and he's the goal line guy too. So I agree with that.
Yep. Here's a good one. Two guys of Tyrone Tracy and Brian Thomas Jr. Both rookies. Man, Tyrone Tracy's been a nice little gem this year.
So I made that trade. Remember I asked you last week, Jordan Mason and Juwan Jennings, or Tyrone Tracy and Mason Tripton, or whatever that guy in New Orleans is. And I'm like, this is a steal. And I take it. And then I'm like, maybe I got hosed here. But anyway.
Yeah, it's looking like it now.
I think I'm Tyrone Tracy here. At least I know he's playing. Brian Thomas is going to be
Brian Thomas Jr. is expected to play.
Yeah. A little worried about him taking a shot to the ribs, which could happen. Tracy just looked freaking rock solid. Like,
I don't even think he needed to come out of the game either. Like that was like the refs took him out. He wasn't wobbly or nothing. They're doing that now because of this Tua stuff for sure.
Sure, and it's probably good to err on the side of caution with these guys' heads and stuff.
It is. But even like last week, Drake May didn't even look like it barely got touched his head, and then they just kept him out. I think it's Patriots kind of wanted to lose that game, to be honest, and then they end up winning it anyway. But
which was fantastic. I loved every second of that. But that's a whole other story.
But
I'm going to go with Tyrone Tracy. Even if they were both healthy, I probably would, just because of
this is hard. Yeah, this is hard. Like this is a hard choice.
Like Rob, I'd love to know if you have a third option, and you probably don't, or else you would have put it in the question. But it'd be interesting to see if there was something else that maybe you could squeeze both these guys in. But if these guys are both 100%, which they're not, I probably still go Tracy, just because I'm I think there's just a clear path to 15 to 20 touches for him against Washington. That's the only way they keep the game close against Washington, in my opinion, is they try to control the clock and the ball. So Tracy was electric in his last game, and I think there was a lot of preseason hype about him, and now I see why. I like him.
Yeah, I had, not to brag, but one of these leagues where I'm just so stout at running back and did pretty well last year, and I only had like 1 4th-round pick, and I picked Tyrone Tracy, and it's like I came and started because it's like Barkley, Henry, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Cooper Kupp. Those are like Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor in my flex. It's like I can't even start Tyrone Tracy, and I want to.
And you can't even trade him because what the hell are you going to do to get better, right? Like
I could use another quarterback. So I've got Matt Stafford as my QB too. I might reach out to the guy. I'm kind of hoping Tyrone Tracy goes off today and reach out to the Drake May owner and be like, hey, you got some draft picks. You could use that to get quarterback.
You think you'd start May over Stafford rest of the way?
No, but I would like that moving forward. I'd rather have May on my bench than Tyrone Tracy at this point because I've got plenty of options.
With that lineup, I agree.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So
what are you doing here? I don't know. Going Tracy as well?
Yeah, I'm going Tyrone Tracy as well. I feel like he's going to get 20 plus touches a week with how well he's playing, and it seems like he always takes one. He takes one for 30, 40 yards every week. So
yeah,
they stick to that run game. I like Brian Dabble. I think that he just has to get a better quarterback. He has to. Like, I think if he gets fired, some team is going to capitalize huge on that and get him as their next head coach or even coordinator. And that'll be really bad for the Giants. They need to move on from Daniel Jones. He just sucks.
And they will.
Yeah. With the heavy rain in Green Bay, stick with Amon-Ra St. Brown or bench him for Ramondre. Thank you for mentioning the weather because honestly, sleeper.
I'm just looking now. So we've got it's 51 degrees, which is not too cold, but there's a 73% chance of rain. The wind is 15 miles out of the southeast, which is even more interesting to me than the rain. Amon-Ra St. Brown is an interesting situation because I heard this stat this week that blew my mind. In the last 5 weeks, the Detroit Lions have scored 25 touchdowns. They have 20 incomplete passes in that same time. That's nuts. But they don't throw a lot, right? Like Goff is throwing 16 to 25 times a game, and they're just mowing teams down on the ground.
David Montgomery threw a touchdown last week. They're goofing off. They're literally back there playing pee-wee football. And
it makes me feel better as a Vikings fan that we only lost by 2.
The Detroit Lions right now look like the best team in the NFL. I mean, I know that I understand the Chiefs are undefeated, but when you just they're kind of barely winning games. It's hard to pick against them, but they haven't really looked like and that might be because they set the bar so high for themselves in the past, but man, right now that's just like, who is going to stop the Lions the way they're playing right now? But I don't know with this rain. I mean, I think Ramondre gets a decent amount of touches today, but his matchup's not great. You got a weak offensive line playing against a really stout defensive line. I'm not really sure about the Titans linebacking core. I think that might be. I know they traded a linebacker away that was a starter.
Yeah,
I know their defensive line is tough, and the Patriots' offensive line is not that good.
But I'm sticking with. I keep wanting to say Ramondre, but I'm trying to say Amon-Ra. I'm sticking with Amon-Ra here, but it is very interesting. He needs to score to deliver, right? Like he's no longer that 10 to 12 catch, 140-yard guy.
Yeah.
He's just not. You see it in Sam Laporta being a massive regression guy this year as well.
He'll have a good week this week, though.
He could. They just run the ball so well, and they're so creative that it's tough. But I'm going to stick with them over Ramondre.
Yeah, and this is a terrible. Don't you ever use this as a reason. But what game would you rather watch? Tennessee Titans and Patriots, or would you rather watch Green Bay and Lions? Give you something a little bit more fun to watch. Sometimes I do take that into consideration when it's kind of close. But Amon-Ra can do it on 2 or 3 yard passes as well all day, every day. So you got to take that into account.
I'll be watching that Lions-Packers game, and I'm actually cheering for the Lions, even though they're ahead of us in the standings. It's just I think the Vikings are in trouble right now, so we need to get ahead of Green Bay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Marco.
Marco, thanks for being here, brother.
Johnny 38. Start Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, or Kyler Murray. Man, we thought Baker Mayfield would maybe not do as well, but boy, were we wrong.
Yeah, he's in tough this week, though. Kansas City's defense is as good as it gets right now. So I actually have Kirk Cousins one spot higher than Kyler Murray. I have Cousins at 8, Kyler at 9, Baker at 14 this week. I think that if you're looking for fantasy points in a game to watch, I think Atlanta and Dallas could be pretty entertaining as well. So
that could be a fun game. That could be a fun game to watch.
So I'll go with Cousins.
Yeah, definitely a weaker matchup. Also, no Micah Parsons. That's a lot less pressure on a quarterback.
There you go.
Just got cramped.
Careful, stretch it out.
I know. Whew, that was bad.
Wait till you get to be my age.
Just from reaching over.
Yeah.
Mr. Scampers, good to see you, man. Every week you're here.
Thanks, Mr. Scampers. Cool cat.
Dowbs, Cocker, Reed, Addison, Tolbert, Worthy. Start 2.
Oh.
Reed wasn't the answer last week, but he's definitely in my decision here. What quarter did Jordan Love even get hurt? I mean, Reed wasn't doing much before that, but
I think it was like midway, but I wouldn't say for sure.
Yeah. Players like Reed are guys that also could have a bad week and then come right back and be top 10 this week. So I can't take him out. He's too big of a playmaker for me.
This is tough. I think I have to keep Reed in just because he's the best player here.
Yeah. Second best player here is probably Jordan Addison.
This is not going to be Addison, though. And it's a great matchup with Hawkinson coming back. Addison's been getting 3 to 4 targets a week. He's pissed off. It could be him, but Sam Darnold is locked on Justin Jefferson and nothing else. And
it's beautiful for me.
Don't really know if I can blame him or if I would be any different if I was the Vikings quarterback. But I thought Addison would regress this year, but I didn't think he would regress this much. Dobbs is too inconsistent, and I don't want to start him with Reed in case Jordan Love aggravates that groin, and then I'm totally screwed because both of those wide receivers are out. Coker's a fun story, but do I really want to rely on anything in Carolina right now, especially with Bryce Young again this week? I think it's worthy for me. I think that they get him going. They get the ball in his hands. He's starting to come around a little bit in that offense. So I'm going to go with Reed and Worthy here.
I'll go with Reed and Addison. Worthy's fine for me too. Like he could definitely get it all in one play for you, which is nice. But Addison,
they got to get him going.
Targets today.
Mahomes missed him last week. I think it was last week. He had Worthy pretty wide open, and he just gunned him.
He missed him a few times this year, like on where Worthy's wide open. And it's hard to probably get your timing with a new and super fast guy. Like you haven't had to do with that speed in a little bit, right? I mean, the last time he had a guy with that speed was Tyreek Hill, and even then, like Tyreek Hill, it was always like short passes, boom, he's going. Or like one really like long pass. So it seems like Worthy has a full route tree.
A little super chat.
Yeah, all right, you go ahead and click on it, and I'll keep our spot.
I don't know if it's going to work for me here.
It should.
Can't get it to pop up for some reason.
Did you scroll down to it, or are you just clicking on the starred?
I was clicking on the starred.
Here
we go.
Chat. There you go.
It's just Rob being an awesome dude.
Just showing you guys some love. This is for my question coming up later. Oh, geez. He hasn't put it in yet. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
You have to keep an eye out for when he puts a question up.
I just got to say, Rob, that you are week in and week out usually.
Oh, no, he has one above it. He has one above it that we'll put up.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, choose one.
I love the food questions.
Shrimp for me.
Crab, shrimp, or lobster. If it's a tail, I'll go lobster. If it's not, I'll go shrimp. Yeah, how we're preparing it is massively important for me here as well.
Yeah. If it's at a Japanese steakhouse, it's shrimp all day for me.
Oh, God, I'm hungry right now after you said that. You got our spot? I didn't.
Yep. Start New England's defense versus the Titans or New Orleans defense versus Carolina.
I'm starting the Saints. I can look at my incredibly lackluster defensive rankings for fun. Well, look at that. The Saints are my number 1 ranked defense this week. Yeah, it's the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots, that would probably be a low-scoring game, which you do get points for not very many points scored, which is nice. But yet they really only have one really good pass rusher who's kind of still not – he's just now starting to get some attention, I feel like, because he was a rookie last year. So I just don't really see a lot of opportunity for sacks outside of Keon White. So I'll take the New Orleans defense.
You guys traded away a pretty decent defensive player too.
I think Josh Uche, he was okay. He was an outside linebacker. He doesn't really known for getting a lot of sacks either. He's a super versatile guy. Definitely freaking not too happy about losing him to the Chiefs for whatever they got for him. But maybe I think there might be some trouble in that locker room as well.
In New England?
Yeah. At least from the defensive side of the ball. Offensive side seems like they're starting to put it together a little bit. Tillman or Pitts? It's kind of
Tillman, but I like what I'm starting to see out of Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is starting to be what we want him to be. This is it's nice.
Slowly he is, yes.
It's what 2 to 3 weeks in a row now. He's been a solid start. Last week was phenomenal.
I'm going to stick with Tillman, but if Pitts has another week like he does, then I'll be making. Look, everywhere I have Kyle Pitts is in my lineup. I don't have anybody better to put in there, but
I had him on my bench last week. I did. I had him on my bench.
I know you did. There's just
I had Brock Bowers. It's not like it was a bad.
Bryce has all the good players. I have all the shit.
It's a league I shouldn't even be 7-1. But
well, you are, and my team sucks. But whatever, it's all good.
And Garrett Wilson gave me a solid start this week. It's looking
You're
good
going
already.
Pitts?
Yeah, I'm going Pitts on this one.
I don't.
If it's tight end premium, it just makes it even better. Even if it's not, I think I'll still go Pitts.
I think if it's tight end premium, it's not a question.
If he's asking Pitts or Tillman, he must have Bowers or McBride, maybe Kelsey.
Could.
Probably one of those 4, I would imagine.
Rob, let us know what your tight end option is, and let us know your answer to the crab, lobster, shrimp question as well.
Yeah. I would like to know who you got in there. I would imagine it's got to be one of those 4. I can't think of any other tight end I'd probably put in there over him. Maybe Otten. I'm on dad duty today, and somebody's waking up.
Yeah, go, man. Nap. You can go.
It's okay. Bring her on. She'll move in here. Half PPR flex. Tracy, Tillman, Ridley, or Addison.
Matheson, what do you make of this whole free 3 hashtag? There's a lot of stuff going around in Minnesota.
What's free 3? Oh, is that Addison's thing?
He tweeted it out, but apparently he's had this for a long time. So it's kind of like Adrian Peterson back in the day had all day was his thing. So Tracy, I think, for me.
What's up?
Bring her up. Bring her in.
You want to sit up here? she's all sad.
Don't be sad. Hi, sweetheart.
Tracy for me as well here.
Yeah. She just realized she lives in a Patriots household, or what? Why is she so sad?
She woke up, probably nobody there. That's why.
Poor thing.
Your hair's all in your face.
Yeah.
She's just looking. Taysom Hill or Worthy? This is Worthy for me.
I think so. Unless it's some type of premium league, it's Worthy. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of guys in the NFL that I dislike to the point where I almost hate them, but Taysom Hill might be right there. Like, he just needs to go away. He's just a pain in the ass.
He is a freaking he's a leech.
Yeah.
Half PPR. Need 2. Kraft versus Detroit. Waddle at Buffalo. Andrews versus Denver.
Ooh.
I think I'll go Waddle.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm very interested to see how the Ravens, and they say Deontay Johnson will play like 10 to 15 snaps today. I'm just really interested to see how that all shakes out, because I think they still want to run more than pass. But now with Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman was playing better until he dropped that one that he lost in the sun last week, which was brutal. Bad. Of course, he's on a bunch of my rosters
right after.
Right. So, and Andrews needs to score, but I could say the same thing about Tucker Kraft. So, I think I'm reluctantly going to sit Waddle.
They both did last week. That tight end day, that's a thing. That's the thing. I've never seen so many tight end touchdowns ever.
It was the highest scoring tight end. I can't remember. It was like all season for sure. But it was one of the highest scoring tight end weeks in the last like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so, I think like when they're like 12 tight ends that score touchdowns or more than that. I think.
I needed Kittle to get one more flip and catch to win in that league where you're 7-1. If he had one more catch, we would have pulled it out, but no. So.
Yeah, I put 200 points up, and he put up like 198.7. that hurts to lose that way.
That is nasty. Was that? Did you play Custer?
Yeah, his team is loaded.
I'm in another
80 more than my average.
I'm in a different league with him, and it's a crazy scoring league. There's all these bonuses and stuff in it, and it's hard to even figure out where you're at. We played earlier. We're the top 2 teams in the league. We played earlier this year, and I was winning. And then Gino threw a pick on the last play of the game on Monday night. I ended up losing by like 0.2 of a point to him. So,
gross.
Yeah, it's kind of funny in a way, but
need a wide receiver too. Lost Diggs. Welcome. I'm in there too. I made a trade. I'll mention it after we answer this question because I lost Diggs and I made a trade to try and supplement. Oh no, I already told you the trade. It was the Bijan and
right. Yeah, I think you did well there. I lost Diggs in a league and I just put him on IR and just closed the book.
Yeah, that's super great. Shakir Tillman or Thomas Jr. if he plays. I do like Shakir as well. I'll go with Thomas Jr. though.
Wow, these are 3 really nice options. I'm gonna need to look at my good old wide receiver rankings. My gut says Shakir. I have Shakir. Man, they're all bunched together here. I'm going to go with Shakir. I got him 2 spots ahead of Tillman. And Brian Thomas is a little bit further down my rankings. I have him at 42 this week. I'll update it. I'll move him up I'll move him up if he's for sure playing.
Yeah, he is expected. I saw 2 hours ago he's expected to play. So usually expected is usually good news.
Yeah.
Cocker or Tillman in PPR. I have Kupp and my other wide receiver and Tracy in the flex. I'll go Tillman here. Yep. Yeah. Here's a good one. Dak or Kyler. Kyler's playing better lately, but matchups have me leaning Dak and a possible high-scoring game while Kyler faces a tough Bears defense. Thoughts? It's a good question.
Yeah,
for Dane, sure.
I think it's definitely worth consideration. I have Kyler at 9 and Dak at 13. So.
Yeah, I'll go with Kyler as well. It's just the rushing upside just is hard to pick guys against that, even though the matchups are tough. That's how these mobile quarterbacks make those matchups a little bit easier for their offense. So he can get it.
I don't think anybody was expecting
touchdown run, and there's 9 points.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was expecting T. Higgins today, but he's officially inactive.
Inactive. Okay, good to know.
Inactive. Yeah.
Am I crazy to start Josh Downs over Tyreek Hill? Or if this is Tyreek Hill, yes. If it's Taysom Hill, then no. But I'm not. No. With Tua back, Tyreek Hill is getting plenty of work. He had 13. He had like 12 points at halftime and got shut down the second half. But yeah, no way.
I have Downs ranked higher this week.
This is bold.
Nobody gives up more points to wide receivers than the Minnesota Vikings. And his catch rate with Flacco this year is like 78%. I think he has an absolutely monstrous game. And I think Tyreek is a fine start. I have Tyreek at 14. I have Downs at 9 this week. I'm going with Josh Downs.
Fair enough. I'm going with Tyreek. I can't bench him. There's no way.
I've been benching him all year almost in start sit questions, and I've been right sadly more than I've been wrong. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, with Tua back though, his floor I think is 10, and I just can't.
Yeah,
and the ceiling is as high as anybody else's. So 0.5 PPR. Start 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 flex. We got Flowers, Pittman, JSN, Tillman, James Cook, Chase Brown, Eckler, Hubbard, Tracy. Wowzers.
I think the easy running back one is Tracy, isn't it? Chase Brown's in that conversation. Hubbard's in that conversation.
I think my running back and flex are easily James Cook and Tracy.
I see James Cook down there now too. So, all right, my wide receiver is probably don't know what to make of Flowers. I don't know what to make of JSN. Tillman's got a nasty matchup. Pittman's in a good spot, but I think it's a Josh Downs game.
Yeah, it's gonna be Flowers, Cook, and Tracy for me. With Pittman making it a little bit more difficult, I feel like he could also have a really good game today.
He could, and that's what's kind of getting me. I'm gonna go the same.
Yeah, he can't. James Cook at this point, I mean, you can't bench him.
Yeah, he seems to be over whatever that toe was bugging him. So
yep.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Thanks so much for the detailed options, you guys. They're great. Man. Thank you, sir. Thanks, you.
Michael. Greatly appreciate that.
Matthiason, I don't know how to say his name. Need one flex. Tracy, Connor, Bigsby, and one wide receiver, Cooper. Mari Cooper just got put as out, so it's not him.
Okay.
Tillman, Addison,
change the lineup now.
Yeah, I know. I just got it on Sleeper. And one wide receiver, Cooper, Tillman. So Tillman, Addison, or Waddle. I'm flexing Tracy, and then my wide receiver is going to be Waddle.
Definitely with you on Tracy. I think my wide receiver is Tillman. So don't trust those guys.
Fair enough. I have St. Brown was thinking of benching him because of the weather.
Wouldn't go crazy. Rain is not the worst thing in the world. Wind is your biggest enemy. But Daniel Caps, if you're going to do that, let us know who you're benching him for. Because if you have one of these teams like Bryce and you can bench him for someone who's a top 12 wide receiver, fine. Yeah. But if you're putting in a dart throw instead, then I would not do that because of the weather. Because Almond could score a 2-yard touchdown pass and outscore whoever you're going to put in. So I'd be interested to know who you're going to put in there.
That really was what it comes down to. I mean, more than likely, I mean, I've only got 2 leagues where my rosters are loaded like that, and other leagues, it's like I don't even have an option close worth benching St. Brown over. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Really important question here. Choose one, crab or shrimp. Okay, so this was.
Lobster's out.
No, that one was like later. He did put that one in.
Okay. We're still both on shrimp then here, right?
Yeah. Okay. Ooh. So we're benching one. Mooney, Devontae Smith, Puka, or Hunt?
Whew.
It's not Puka.
Well, he's very questionable, right? Like the latest report is he's going to try to play this week.
But he looks great last week on a limited snap count.
But he got hurt in practice. Hurt his knee.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah.
My gosh.
So,
wow. Brian Robinson Jr. inactive today. There's a lot of people inactive today.
Who's inactive?
Brian Robinson Jr.
Oh, wow. It looked like he was going to play. Now I got 2 changes to my rosters I got to make. I'm going to sit. I'm going to sit Hunt.
I think I have to also sit Hunt. And if I hear Puka's on a snap count, I will still bench him, even though I heard what happened last time. So keep an eye on that. But I will also sit
I have one roster with Puka. I just traded for him last week. I also happen to have Brian Robinson Jr. on that same roster, so I might be in a little bit tight this week. But Puka's one of those guys that I'm not sitting him if he's active. So
right, that's fair.
That's
fair.
As much as it scares me. Brian Robinson Jr.
At least he's inactive. I think I had him in a parlay today to score, but when they get put as inactive before the game, they just change your odds for you. So that's nice. Really important question, guys. Choose one. Oh, that's the one we already did. Pitts or Hawkinson? Marco from the future asked.
Pitts
for me as well. Franklin Jr., what's up, fellas? Hey, man, how are you? And then he follows it up with TJ Hawkinson or Mark Andrews today.
This one's closer for me. I think I have Andrews a little higher. I do. I have Andrews 2 spots higher than Hawk. I just think he's kind of got to ease himself back in a little bit.
Yeah, I will also take Andrews in this. He's now kind of on a little bit of a streak of touchdown scoring, so maybe he keeps that up. Dak Prescott or Bo Nix?
Bo Nix for me.
That's what I like to start seeing here. Bo Nix getting these.
I know it's not the greatest matchup in the world, but you can throw on Baltimore, and Bo extends plays his legs. I have one spot higher. I have Nix.
I know you're not big on Bo Nix as a football player, but man, I don't know. I think
I don't give a shit. I don't care about a football player.
I know, but I think he's a good football player too. I think Sean Payton is a good coach for a young quarterback. We've kind of seen that now twice.
As long as you're his type of quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, and he is. It seems like they're already getting like a little bit of a bond going. Like I could see that being a problem in a couple of years. I mean, this team is winning with subpar wide receiver talent, like super subpar wide receiver talent. And their defense is stout. Sean Payton is whipping this Broncos team into shape. It looks good. I see the same thing happening with the Chargers here in a year or two as well. So at Coda, Franklin Jr. commented, and he's benching who was it again? Who was the first one? Mooney. He's benching Mooney in that one.
I don't know if I do that, but I like it.
Yeah, not in this matchup. Mooney's just, man. Chargers or Titans? May back. Yes, he is. He's back this week.
He is back. I'm assuming they're talking defense here.
I guess who's going to win? I don't know. If it's defense, I'm picking the Titans, though. Yeah. I just don't see the Patriots scoring a lot of points, even if they – I mean, that game could be 10-3.
Titans are my second-ranked defense this week, so yeah.
Yeah. They're going to get interior pressure all day today, which that is better for sacks, because if you can get pressure in the middle, like Bo Nix can extend plays, but you usually got to step up in the pocket to do so. So the Titans' interior defensive linemen are the real deal. They're some of the best in the league. So even though last week their defense didn't look too hot, Darius Sneed was out. That's a big piece to be missing. He might be out again this week. I don't even know, but I don't know who he would guard anyway.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Shrimp all the way. So many ways to prepare them too, as per Bubba. That is right. He did name all the ways you can prepare shrimp in that movie.
My God, I love shrimp.
I do too. Cooper's inactive today. Yep. Can you rank my team at QB? Got Caleb Williams, running backs 1 and 2, Brian Robinson, Josh Jacobs, wide receiver 1 and 2, DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb, flexes, Moab McConkey. Definitely want a little. It's okay.
It's a playoff team. It's a playoff.
Yeah,
team.
It's. I don't think this is a great team. I will say. I mean, I don't feel Caleb Williams is a quarterback I would trust. I don't know if not, especially after last week, if like a guy like Bo Nix would be available on the waiver wire or not. I just feel like there's better options if it's like a redraft league, which seems like what this could be formatted as. Solid wide receiver options. Flex options are okay. I think this is an average team, a playoff team as of right now. Hopefully you got some bench players to substitute for Brian Robinson Jr., though. Good morning, fellas. Half PPR. Should I start Bucky Irving or ETN at RB2, Flex, Sutton, or Smith and Jigba? Appreciate y'all's hard work.
I think I'm going to go with ETN if he plays over Bucky here.
Yes, I will too.
And then I'm flexing or Smith and Jigba. JSN for sure. I can't trust anything Denver passing game most weeks, even in a good matchup, but I still don't like it. Oh my God. I am screwed in this league that I have Brian Robinson in.
Yeah, I traded I traded my last like 2 pieces. I'm like starting Jermichael Hasty and like Cam Akers today in one league, which I'm okay with. I'm trying to lose every game anyway. Did you just get my question? LOL. Did he ask a question? I missed it.
What did we miss? Sorry.
I don't know. Daniel Caps. Daniel Caps said, we did skip it.
Did.
Yep. No, we did. Yep. No, I didn't answer this.
Sorry, dude.
Thank you for letting us know. Shoot.
Yeah.
Freaking 30 minutes later. My bad. Hey, fellas, need one. I know. I must have just scrolled right past it. Hey, fellas, need one. Monty, Rashad White, or Pollard, PPR. Bo or Murray, same team.
Monty for me. Guy scores almost every week he plays.
Yeah, Monty for me.
Bo Nix or Kyler Murray? I have Kyler higher. I'll go Kyler.
Kyler.
I do not fault you for picking either one of those quarterbacks. So both in an interesting matchup from a rushing standpoint. Baltimore's good, but passing, I think Bo can do some stuff. I just think Kyler's going to get too much on the ground. I mentioned it earlier. I think he's going to get you 6 to 8 with his legs. So I'll go Kyler here. But I would really need to be loaded at running back to put David Montgomery on a bench. He scores almost every week.
Yeah. Yeah, I have him on the bench on one of mine. Whoops.
I just started Rico Dowdle instead of Brian Robinson Jr., and I kind of make myself sick right now. But that's
it could be worse. It's a 2 QB league. I have McBride in the starting spot, so I've had Pitts on my bench. Yep. Okay, that's what I thought. I'm 6-2, and
that makes total sense for sure.
Crap for him. Is Jonathan Brooks droppable? He's been clogging up my bench for 9 weeks. I don't think he's going to even play this year. The Panthers suck. Thoughts? In a redraft league, should be able to put him on your IR if you have that.
If you have one.
If not, yeah, I don't see Jonathan Brooks having any value this year at all, to be honest. And if he did, it'd be like in the fantasy playoffs, and it's like you're probably not going to feel comfortable starting him in there anyway. So depending on who you're dropping him for, sure, but again, that's a guy that I'd be like trying to pay for in a league I'm trying to rebuild, if anything.
Yeah, I don't really trade for running backs in rebuilds, so I probably would avoid him altogether.
Yeah,
I have a little bit of a problem dropping him, especially if I've carried him for this long. And obviously, it's a redraft question. You're not dropping him in Dynasty, so I'd have a hard time dropping him at this point. I'd be interested to see what you're going to pick up if you drop him too, because I can't imagine there's much out there. So he's not droppable for me. I do think he plays this season.
Yeah, I think he might play, but I just I don't see him as a starter this year. I just don't see.
I think
Cuba's played too well.
I think you get down to the latter parts of the season where Carolina does suck. There's no denying that, but Chuba's been pretty good in that offense with it being pretty pedestrian. I think that and it's a tough organization to figure out because they don't usually do things that make a whole lot of sense, but I would think if I'm running that show that later on in the season, I would probably give more touches to Brooks than I would to Hubbard just to see what I've got there. But
right. But does that happen in weeks 15, 16, 17? 18, you know what I mean? Like by the time you maybe think that's going to happen, it might be like you've already, if you're that far deep into your fantasy playoffs, you might, I guess injury could, there's a lot of variables, but I just don't know if I'll ever feel comfortable starting him this year. And if you did, it would be like just could be too late, I think.
Part of me also thinks they should just redshirt him and leave him out all year, let his knee get right, and then coming him back, but who knows?
Happy PR, Coleman or Ridley. Thanks. Happy Sunday. This is Ridley for me.
Me too.
No, Amari Cooper does make Coleman a little more interesting, but
and he's played well. He's played well lately.
He has. They gave him two fades in 3 plays last week, and he caught one of them right after Tariq Woolen was talking a bunch of trash.
I'm starting to wonder if Amari's just kind of done.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he might be a good second option. I think Keon Coleman is going to become a pretty good player for them.
Playing way better than I thought he would. Like it wasn't a guy I was high on, so good for him.
But he is known for catching those contested catches. He's known for making cool and good catches. But I mean, Josh Allen's going to find a way to get you into the red zone. So if you just need a guy to make a contested catch here and there, Coleman's got some value. I just don't know if we see him have a lot of value as like a target monster. Like I feel like Khalil, I think the ball gets spread out there a lot more. So
I'm with you.
That's no concern. But he has good touchdown upside. Good morning, guys. PPR need one. Jerry Judy, Calvin Ridley, or Courtland Sutton. Thanks again. Have a great Sunday. This is Calvin Ridley for me. What about you?
Judy, Ridley, Sutton. Yeah, it's Ridley as well.
Okay. Would you drop McMillan for Coker, half PPR? Yes.
I'm just looking up Coker's targets the last couple of weeks. He's been 4, 3, 1, and 6. Now, obviously, the touchdown he scored makes him more attractive, and he did score that in garbage time. I think you're okay to drop McMillan, give it a go, but I think you're dropping. This is the Spider-Man meme for me. I think you're dropping the same guy for the same guy. But
yep.
And then when I'm doing that, I look at the guy who was the better quarterback, and Baker Mayfield is vastly superior to anything in Carolina. So I think I'd hold McMillan, but I'm not going to fight you if you don't.
Yep. We got another super chat. I didn't even see it. It came only 10 minutes ago, so not too far.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's a big one, too.
Whoa. Thank you, sir.
D. Ruckus, thank you. Morning, brothers. 10-man PPR. Need 2. A wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex, 1 tight end. Help. Wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., St. Brown, Olave. Geesh. Running backs, Aaron Jones, Swift, Jacobs, Madison. Tight ends, Ferguson, and Andrews. Also, start Lions D or pick up Pats or Titans D. Thanks, Maine. I'm definitely going to pick up the Titans D. That's the easiest part of this question.
I think so as well.
My 2 wide receivers. I could probably give you my 2 wide receivers. Oh, man, I don't know. Wowzers.
I think I have to sit Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think I do too.
So, but can I flex him?
No, I think I'm going to flex one of the first 3 running backs.
Okay, so 2 wide receivers. We're both going to start St. Brown and Olave.
Mm-hmm.
2 running backs. We're both going to go what? Jones and.
Yeah, these guys are all kind of in a tier together. So I'm just going to put them all in whichever one in the flex.
So you're
not Madison, obviously.
You're going to go those first 3 running backs.
Okay. First 3, Jones, Swift, and Jacobs. I'm going to put all 3 of them in. Yeah.
I think
my tight end is going to be Ferguson.
We're in lockstep then. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I was almost right about Marvin Harrison Jr. last week. I was a little lofty.
Pretty darn right. I mean, you couldn't get that much closer.
But he's got the Bears this week, and that's a
tough
nasty pass defense. I know there's rain with St. Brown, but again, I'm not too worried about that. Olave gets Derek Carr back, which may or may not be a good thing, but Carr absolutely shredded the Panthers in week 1. So I think I got to go with those 2 wide receivers, those running backs. I'm with you. And I'm definitely Ferguson over Andrews in a game where I think Ferguson could score and see, 6 to 8 targets. I think there's going to be a ton of throwing the football in that Atlanta-Dallas game, one that I'm looking forward to watching later. So
for sure.
Ruckus, thanks for that, man. That's awesome. Very generous.
Yeah,
Greatly appreciate it.
Best super chat we've ever gotten, actually.
That's one of.
Hey guys, one more question. PPR: Chuba, TJ, Hawkinson, O'Brien.
I think it's supposed to be Brian.
I'm thinking it's going to be Brian Thompson Jr. of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
If he's playing, not sure if he is. Thanks again. He is playing, and that's who I'm going to go with here.
Yeah. So your safest play here is Chuba Hubbard by a long shot. Your ceiling play, I believe, is Brian Thomas Jr. as well. I absolutely love him. I think he's rock solid. Gabe Davis is out for whatever that is worth. Christian Kirk is out for the season. So it's Parker Washington and Brian Thomas Jr. along with Evan Ingram for Jacksonville. I definitely think Brian Thomas Jr. has a ton of upside. So I'm going to be with Bryce here, and we're going to go that way.
I think he needs to shut up and play. He's behind the wide receiver. Jones having a year.
That's me about asking him about Matheson and the free 3 hashtag. Addison. I agree 1,000%. He's not doing anything, so just get out there on the field and stop driving drunk and falling asleep in your car and be a good human being and see what happens. But I agree 1,000%.
Yeah. Oh, so we put the question up on the screen and then I put the next one up. That's what I must have done because we answered it after he put this. So I probably thought we already answered it and then clicked on the next one. My bad, Daniel Caps.
Sorry, brother. We'll be better.
Yeah, put another one in there and maybe I'll get to it quicker before these other ones since we accidentally skipped one of yours. You have to pay for them to read your question. No, we don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. You just when you pay, you get moved to the front of the line, Javier. So that's what it is. And today, even today, I didn't do the best at making sure that one it sat for too long, 10 minutes before we got to it.
I'm also a terrible co-host who's trying to set his lineups in the middle of this thing.
Yeah,
because of injuries and inactives. So I'm not helping much.
Man, what's going on with the wide receivers? I lost Diggs, Metcalf, and Godwin in 2 weeks. What is one to do? Yeah, it's tough out here. We've been kind of not too bad of injuries early in the season. I feel like we don't have a ton of people that are missing the whole season, at least for fantasy wise. But
yeah,
McCaffrey, I guess. And
it is tough. It seemed last year was all of running back injuries and massive running back injuries. And this year it seems to have, and quarterback last year as well, it seems to have transitioned a little bit more to wide receiver this year. And it is hard. Like I've been starting Xavier Hutchinson because of all the injuries in Houston, and that guy has as many fantasy points in the last 2 weeks as I do. Like there's no real replacement for a lot of these guys. So you just got to hope and just put in someone who is at least a path to getting a target or some relevance and see what's going on. So,
all right, let's put her down real quick. All right, Love or Geno today? I'm not benching Jordan Love.
I think I have Jordan Love ranked higher. Well, obviously, a little concerned that he could tweak that groin and be out again, but I can't live in a world of fear. So I lied. I have Geno ranked higher. I have Geno at 10, 11, 15. I'll move Love up before this is over, but that rain is an issue as well, right?
Yeah, well, but yeah, definitely. But Love also got plenty of guys that can get it done in the short pass game. I think they're going to still have to throw the ball.
Nobody throws the ball more than Seattle, so that's kind of why I like Geno, but I agree with you.
Fair enough. For one, he's a no. Mark Cooper has been ruled inactive. Thank you, Mark. We did.
Thank you for that.
We did mention that, but we're also 20 minutes behind on some of these questions. Harrison or Brian Thomas Jr.? This will be Harrison for me this week.
Yeah,
tough matchup, but we'll see. Make sure Brian Thomas Jr. is 100%.
Yep, I'll go with Harrison as well.
Coleman or Ridley, half PPR. Javier, I will go with Ridley.
Half PPR, I'll go with Coleman. Full PPR, I'll go with Ridley. I think he has more catches, but Coleman has that home run potential to him, so I'll go with Coleman in a half scoring format.
That's fair. Sutton or Dowdle, full PPR. Thanks, guys. Oh, gosh. This is rough, Derek. Yeah, I guess.
I know it's a really good passing game matchup for Denver, but
they did try and get Sutton. They did make an emphasis to get him more involved this week. I'll go with Sutton. I just don't know. I just think there's too much.
I'll join you with Sutton. I guess because
they're going to start trying to get Dalvin. I think they're going to try and get Dalvin more involved.
Holy shit! What year is it? Like
I'm surprised they're not making a trade at the deadline for
Khalil Herbert. Go get Khalil Herbert. You get him for nothing.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that we saw Alvin Kamara apparently requested a trade, or it was rumored, and then he gets an extension.
Yep.
Chuba or Pollard? Well, this one could get made for you. Do they play at the same time?
He is active.
Pollard is active?
Yeah.
Then I'll go Pollard against the Patriots. Yeah. Give me Pollard.
Me too. He's a top 12 running back for me this week. I'm a little worried about his injury status.
At least Derek did say it's the flex. I figured since one was a running back, one was
that's good.
Wide receiver.
I'm basically starting them in some of the leagues. So
yeah. Standard league, choose one, Bigsby or Dowdle. This will be Bigsby for me in a standard.
Oof. Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm. He says Chuba. I think Pollard will be limited. I don't know. I just don't see a point in playing him if they plan on giving him a limited amount of touches, especially against the Patriots.
I don't disagree with this, but I can't remember. But like New Orleans isn't exactly a bad matchup for Chuba either. But I just have Pollard. I just think Pollard's better back, so I'll go.
It's against a weak run defense too so far this year. So. Coleman or Ridley at wide receiver 3. I went with Ridley, so I'll stay there. Half PPR that you went with Coleman. And then would you drop McMillan for Cocker? I think we kind of answered these.
I think we did answer these earlier. Ones. Yeah.
And we said yes, we would, I think.
So Javier, here's how you see how it works, right, brother? Like you made that comment earlier that you got to pay for them to read your answers. You just put them in the queue, and we'll get to them as we come. We take them from top to bottom unless you super chat. So we've now got your question twice. Only need to put it in there once, but appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I don't know if he did. I'm trying to look. Oh, yeah. He asked it way up here.
So
it did wait a decent amount of time.
Yeah, it's fine. Sometimes we're busy.
All right, Marco. Yeah, we got a decent amount of viewers today. Marco from the future asked, Tolbert, Cocker, Dowds, Addison, Hawkinson, start one from my flex. I will put in Addison. Yeah, Addison for me.
It's Addison or Hawkinson, and I'm thinking we ease Hawk in, so I'll go with Addison as well. I'll join you there.
Okay. Which defense to start, Minnesota or the Chargers?
I believe I have the Chargers right around Minnesota in the rankings. Let me check it real quick. Minnesota at 9, Chargers at 11. I will go with the Vikings.
I will believe your rankings and also go to the Vikings.
I don't know how to rank
defense. I don't really play many defense leagues either.
I just wing it.
Winston or May?
It's May for me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, May. And then Superflex, 2 out of the 3. May, Flacco, Gino. Cheers, guys. So
Gino and May. I'm benching Flacco, even though I think he has a good game.
I'll bench Flacco as well. May's got some rushing upside. Not a ton, but it's enough.
That's what I like.
Yep. With a shaky O-line, so he might be scrambling a lot today.
Yep.
Worthy or Shakir?
Shakir
for me as well.
Very big fan of his.
Start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. McBride, Puka, Marvin Harrison Jr., Reed, Wandell, and Worthy.
Nice team. I'd like to know who your starting tight end is. If McBride is in this question, so you must have Bowers or Kelsey. My 2 wide receivers are Puka and Reed. My flex is McBride.
Yeah, I'll go with, geesh. I just don't know who I want to sit out of those 4 as well.
I'm worried about Harrison. I think he's got Jalen Johnson in his pocket all day today. So I think McBride at least has some options for Arizona against Chicago underneath and in the middle a bit. So that's why I went that way.
I'll just say the weather will play a part, and I'll actually bench Reed here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
who are your 2 wide receivers? Are you flexing McBride?
I'm flexing McBride and putting in Puka.
I find this on the web. For who are your 2?
Siri, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Bryce.
She said, so are you? I guess she thought Siri. I don't know.
Maybe.
PD only league. Start 1. Tua, Sam Darnold, or Jaden Daniels? Daniels.
I think I have him at 2 this week behind Lamar. No, I'm at 3 behind Lamar and Hurts, but I'm starting to be there.
Yep. Harrison Jr. or Brian Thomas Jr. I feel like we got one from somebody else just like this. I think I went with Harrison.
I don't know what I did, but I think it's Brian Thomas Jr. I'm just worried about this matchup for it. I don't know what I said before. I really don't. Maybe I did go Harrison.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm a little bit torn here because obviously if they're both 100% healthy, it would be Brian Thomas Jr. and it wouldn't be a question for me. I think he's just in a better spot and so far performed as a better wide receiver in the NFL. I was all over Harrison last week because I thought he would have a good game, and he did. But I just think he has Jalen Johnson all week this week. So Brian Thomas Jr. could get hurt right off the gate. I don't know. Rewind the tape. What did I say before? Rankings-wise, I'm pretty confident I have Harrison higher, so I'll just follow my rankings and go with Harrison as well. But I don't know.
And we got to we'll answer this. We'll go to the super chat real quick. Romeo Dobbs versus Detroit or Rico Dowdle. I'll go with Romeo.
I will as well. I'll throw this super chat up here for you so you can stay in the spot.
Sounds good. 2 QB league. I'm benching Minshew.
Yeah, easily for me.
And thanks for the super chat.
Appreciate that for sure. But yeah, I don't want any part of Gardner Minshew if I have those 2 as an option for sure.
He could get benched in the middle of the game for Desmond Ridder, for all I know.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah, I would just throw in Ridder at this point. Why not? Oh, well. Xavier Legette or Ferguson? PPR. Ferguson.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said earlier, I think he could get 6 to 8 catches this week. So I think that will exceed anything Legette does. So
I agree. There should be IR spots in all leagues, but not all of them have them.
Yeah, I have a couple of redraft leagues that have 1 IR spot. But I agree with the amount of injuries that we're seeing year over year in fantasy football. It's pretty brutal if you got to start dropping guys, because they're injured and you and have short benches. It also depends on how big your benches are as well. But I agree. We should have at least 2. Everybody's got injured players to deal with.
Morning, guys. Good luck. Thank you, Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
He has a question that follows this one, though. What's up? Season on the line. Start 2 different leagues. Start 1, Ertz, Komet, Taysom. And then start 1 running back, 1 flex, Dobbins, Jacobs, McLaurin, Downs. The tight end one for me is going to be Komet.
I'm on Ertz.
That's fair. It's fair. It's either one. It's one of those 2 for sure. But I'll go with Komet. Down week last week. Maybe he pulls it together this upcoming week, and then the running back and flex. So which running back, Dobbins or Jacobs?
I think I'm going to go Dobbins here. Jacobs is a little banged up. He's going to run a lot in the slot. No, I'll go Dobbins.
I'm going to go Jacobs.
Okay, we're helping. We're really helping here.
My flex is Terry.
And my flex is Downs. So, hey, chat, can you help us out here? Because we just screwed poor Dylan here. Bryce is on Komet, Jacobs, and Terry, and I am on Ertz, Dobbins, and Downs. So if you guys want to get in here and help us out to help Dylan, that'd be great.
Yeah, tag him in your response too, so he has some sort of tiebreaker. Or maybe he was leaning one way and he's the tiebreaker.
Or maybe he's stopped watching and he's gone somewhere else to actually get his question answered. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we're only 13 minutes behind, so we're not too far. Half PPR, Hurts or Jaden Daniels, J.K. Dobbins or Javonte Williams for RB2, and then Komet or Ingram for a tight end spot. Cool. You have Hurts as your second.
2.
I will actually go Hurts as well here.
I am Hurts, Dobbins, Ingram.
I am also Hurts, Dobbins, Ingram here.
See, Seth, we do actually help some people. Sorry, Dylan.
Yep. Steven, I don't know. Steven. Hello, looking for advice on whether I should replace Josh Jacobs in my lineup with Mostert, McConkey, or Bigsby, full PPR. Let me look into this Josh Jacobs situation.
So he's questionable. He's been questionable all week. The only one I would consider here is Lab McConkey. I think Tank Bigsby's as injured as Josh Jacobs is at the moment, and Mostert is not really a factor.
He is expected to play.
Yeah, so I think I'd go with him. One thing with Green Bay, similar with Jordan Love as well, is Green Bay is notoriously very cautious with their players. We saw it with Aaron Jones a lot. We saw it with Christian Watson a lot. They take a long time to clear their guys to come back. So if Green Bay is going to let a guy play that's got a bit of an ailment, I can't imagine it's overly serious. So I think Jacobs is the guy here. Like I said, I would consider McConkey, but I don't want to.
Would you trade Hurts, Brees, Cade Otton for Burrow, Mixon, and Kelsey?
Whew.
Man.
Hurts. So let's do it this way. Hurts or Burrow?
Hurts.
Brees or Mixon?
Let's say this is redraft. I'll take Mixon.
I think it is. And so right now I'm with you on both sides. And then Otton or Kelsey?
I think I'll take Kelsey in this one.
Yeah, so we're taking 2 of the Hurts side and 1 of the Burrow side. Is that right?
Yeah, I think for redraft.
Oh no, we're two on the other side because we want the
Mixon and Kelsey was what we took.
I think so too. Bryce and I were talking earlier about Breece Hall, and I think it was before we went live. It's a little bit weird there. So
yeah, and no Rashee Rice for the year makes Kelsey back to being way more valuable. I think redraft you got to take the Burrow, Mixon, Kelsey
and
side.
Burrow's not exactly garbage, right? Like he's
been pretty good this year.
If he gets T Higgins back here quick, he's a top 6 to 8 quarterback
every week. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm on the Burrow, Mixon, Kelsey side here. So would I trade those 3 guys for those 3 guys? Yes.
I think it is a fair trade either way, though. I also want to know what you guys would do with Travis Etienne at this point. Thanks. In a dynasty league, I'd be looking to get rid of him for sure. But in redraft, I don't know.
It's tough, right? Because his value is very suppressed right now because he's been hurt. Right. I totally agree. His value is suppressed. Like he hasn't played overly well. He's been banged up. Tank Bigsby's been pretty good. Redraft, I'd kick the tires on someone who's absolutely desperate at running back and see what you can get. And dynasty wise, I think you almost got to just sit and wait. Like, I just don't know, what are you going to get for ETN, a third right now?
Somebody would easily pay a second, I would imagine, but
would they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The only challenge I see of that is the only teams that are wanting to acquire this player are contending guys. So maybe they would give you a second because they don't value that as much as the guys that wouldn't. So yeah, I'm still holding on to him in dynasty and then seeing what I can do for redraft. That's not easy.
Yeah. Start Brian Thomas Jr. or Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers actually had a pretty good week last week against the tough defense.
He's clearly their number one wide receiver now.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's secondary stinks. Brian Thomas Jr. is a little banged up. I'm going Jacoby Myers here. I think he could get 10 to 12 targets. I think both Bowers and Myers are in really good spots.
They're going to get all the work. Yeah.
I'll go with Jacoby.
Yeah. I actually will also go Jacoby Myers here. Brian Thomas Jr. not banged up is easily the decision, though.
Yeah, and it hurts me to not pick Brian Thomas Jr. He's my version of what Waddle was for you a couple of years ago. He's pretty much my whoopee. Sup?
Fellas, pick 2. Josh Downs, DJ Moore, Cocker. Downs and DJ Moore.
PPR, it is Downs and DJ Moore. Yep. Good luck to you.
Eric Castellanos gives us a nice one. PPR, Chubb or Dowdle?
Nick Chubb or Dowdle. Who do the Browns play?
I think they have a tough matchup today, if I'm not mistaken.
They do. I just remember who it is. She's right. It's the Chargers.
Yep. Oh, jeez.
That's okay. I'm gonna go with Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb for me as well. They're gonna just start getting him in more and more involved. You go on a win streak.
Maybe Dalvin Cook does something for Dallas, but even Rico by himself isn't the greatest thing in the world. So
nope.
All right.
Half-point PPR, start 2, wide receiver 2 and a flex. Sutton, Waddle, Worthy, Shakir, Ridley.
Definitely Shakir is one of them for me. I think I'm Shakir and Ridley here.
All right. I am going to go. Oh, nope. Don't want to go down. Okay. Waddle and Shakir. Waddle and Ridley for me.
You're sitting Shakir here, eh?
Yeah, I don't really like to, but I think I am. Yep.
Oh,
I just think Ridley and Waddle.
We need 2 and a flex, right? It's a wide receiver 2 and a flex. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm Shakir and Ridley.
Yep. This guy said I'm in the 2 QB league. What was his question? I don't even see it.
I'll find it.
Oh. Never mind. He was the super chat.
Right.
He was the super chat where we benched Minshew.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm still benching Minshew in any format there.
Running thin on running backs with Robinson Jr. out. Do I dare play ETN or should I pick up Bigsby or Charbonnet? I'd probably play ETN out of those options.
I would play ETN, but I'd also try to pick up Charbonnet. I think he's going to be a little bit more relevant with Seattle's situation. I wouldn't start him this week, but if he's on your waiver wire, I think he should be rostered. But yeah, I would just roll with ETN here this week.
She keeps trying to touch my mouse pad.
Let her drive. I can read if you want. I'm good.
Full PPR. Need 2 running backs between Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Austin Eckler, Kareem Hunt, Ramondre, and Pollard. That's quite a staple.
2 running backs. Look at this.
Stable, I should say. Careful. Look what you did. Okay. Josh Jacobs. Wow, man, this is tough. Good Lord, you need to trade some stuff.
I got Pollard ranked the highest here, so I'm going to go with Pollard. And I don't know what I'm doing with the second one.
I think I'll go Jacobs and Pollard.
I think I'm Pollard and Connor. I am.
I don't hate Connor. He's probably my number 3 there. Yeah.
I think he can do a little bit on the ground against Chicago. It's their pass defense that's that great. So, that's but Bryce is right. Like, trade a running back.
Yeah, you're so deep there. You need to make some trades, try and either get a really good one for a package deal or upgrade at some other position. Flex, Alexander Madison or D-Hop?
This is easily Alexander Madison for me, without hesitation.
Yeah. D-Hop was involved about as much as I thought he would be last week, and I expect more and more each week. But Alexander Madison just is going to get all the work today, so I'll be starting him.
What a weird year.
I know. Alec Pierce or Elijah Moore? Here's a good one, too.
I think Elijah Moore for me here. I think Alec Pierce is definitely in a good spot with Flacco in over Richardson, but Richardson seemed to like Alec Pierce on the 65-yard bombs, and they would hit that every once in a while. Without that, Alex Pierce has been pretty irrelevant this year. So
he did have a good week that one week. The Flacco's first week, it was 3 for like 125 and a touchdown, but
I just
don't see that being consistent. Yeah, I'll take Elijah Moore. Path to targets is easier.
I just see Pierce behind Downs, Pittman, Taylor. Like, he's the fourth guy now all of a sudden. So, yeah, I think I'm Elijah Moore here pretty comfortably.
Charbonnet or Chestnut buys are absolutely killing me. I feel it, dude.
It might be Chestnut.
I'll go with Charbonnet.
It might be Chestnut this week, but I'll go with Charbonnet as well.
It might be, for sure. It's hard to guess when you're talking about backup running backs, right? But
100%.
Charbonnet's got a better chance of just falling in the end zone. So,
yeah.
So I'll take that. Here's a good one. Ertz or Laporta?
Whew. I think I actually might.
I think I'm going to go with Ertz.
They're back to back. I have Laporta one spot higher. I can't fault you.
Can't fault you either way.
Laporta at 10, Ertz at 11. I think they're both quality starts this week, but maybe the weather sways me to Ertz.
Yeah,
I don't want to get
an excuse too.
You know what? It almost always seems to happen that when I get all worked up and caught up with weather, it is never a factor. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I think I would leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. Pollard or Tyrone Tracy? This is Tyrone Tracy for me.
Yeah, it's Pollard for me. I have Pollard in my top 12 this week.
Yep. Full PPR, Josh Jacobs or Austin Eckler?
Jacobs
for me as well. Austin Eckler could get some more work today, though. He
could. Jeremy McNichols could be all of a sudden relevant off the scrap heap as well.
Again, both of them could have decent days today. Bo Nix or Kyler Murray? I feel like we had this earlier, and I don't even remember who I picked.
I picked Kyler, and I like them both. They're both in the top 12. For me, Kyler, I think I have it like 7 or 8. But yeah.
And we got another super chat from our man here.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Downs, Hopkins, Flowers, T. Hill, or Addison. That's Tyreek Hill. It's Tyreek Hill for me.
If we're just starting one here, it's Josh Downs because I have him ranked as my 9th wide receiver. If it's 2, I'm Hill and Downs easily. If I'm just sitting one here, I'm probably sitting Addison.
Yeah, I'll go with Tyreek Hill, then Flowers, then Downs, then Addison, then Hopkins in that order.
Smoking hot take. I like it.
Yep, I'll take it. I like Josh Downs too. I think he's a good value. I don't know. I have a feeling it's a Michael Pittman Jr. day today. I really do.
I'm okay with that.
Are y'all not high on Eckler with Brian Robinson now? I think he's a solid option, but I just feel like he'll kind of play the similar role that he has been all year.
Yeah,
he might get a couple more. He might get some more rushing attempts, like maybe 5 more. But I just think they'll just do some committee with McNichols.
Yeah, and it seems to be McNichols. Bryce is right. Kind of slides into the primary rushing back. But the matchup against the Giants isn't a tough one either. So I think they could all be relevant. But I believe that the Giants are susceptible to running backs. Off the top of my head, I probably heard this stat somewhere that they're giving up a lot of yardage to running backs via that pass. So I'm not dead on Eckler by any means. It's probably in my top 25 this week.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I'm starting him where I have him. It's just what I'm forced to do, though. It's not much better options. Full PPR, Zay Flowers, Keenan Allen, or Jordan Addison. Pick 2. So who you benching out of these 3?
Flowers, Keenan Allen, Jordan Addison, pick 2. I'm going to bench Keenan Allen.
I think I'm a bench Keenan Allen as well.
I don't like it.
Me neither. He's could be friggin' 3 catches, 2 of them are touchdowns from 30 yards, but oh well.
Njoku,
Laporta, or Ferguson.
It's the Njoku for me.
I think I'll go. Oh man, this is a tough one.
Cody, you got to have someone you can trade a tight end to.
Yeah.
Like you got 3 guys in my top 10 this week.
Yeah.
If it's premium, start
Ferguson.
them all if it's premium. But yeah, Njoku at 7, Ferguson at 8, and Laporta at 10. So,
yeah, I'll go with Ferguson.
Yeah, flip a 3-headed coin. Like I don't know. I'm going to go to Njoku just because I'm ranked higher.
I need a running back and a flex PPR. Who should I start? Chase Brown, Hubbard, Jacobs, or Downs?
Downs.
Yeah,
Downs is my flex. My running back is probably Jacobs.
Yeah, Jacobs and Downs for me as well. He is starting 2 out of those wide receivers. So it's Tyreek Hill and Downs for me.
Yep.
Or no, I'm sorry. Tyreek Hill and Flowers for me.
Crazy talk. Yeah, I'm Downs and Tyreek. We haven't $5 betted in a long time. We should probably $5 bet Downs and Flowers.
We can. Oh, I'll get you in a second. Okay, I'm gonna answer these last 3 questions, and then I'll go if you want to hang around and answer any more. But
sure, I'll stick around if anything comes in. That's good. You got your hands full there, brother.
Yep, I know.
All right, do you drop a player to pick up Tucker Kraft? The roster is Pitts at tight end. Running backs are Cook, Jacobs, Najee, Chase Brown, Tank Bigsby, Rico Dowdle, Mostert, and his wide receivers are Brown, Chase, Pickens, Josh Downs, and McConkey. Do I drop someone to pick up Tyler Kraft?
Yeah, Dowdle.
Yeah, like when do you start? And I'm assuming it's James Cook. If it's Dalvin, do Dalvin instead. But Jacobs, Najee, Chase Brown all start before Dowdle does for you, and probably Mostert too. So, yeah, I think I absolutely dropped Dowdle to pick up Tucker Kraft. I'm with Bryce.
Yep, 100%. I'm going to answer this next one and do this. You ripped their diaper off, so I got to go have fun with that stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about. But
full PPR. Pick 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. We got Jake Ferguson, Njoku, Tolbert, Rome, Odunze, I measure, Coker, and Pop Douglas. So
pick 1 wide receiver. I think I'm on Pop here for the wide receiver.
I think I'm on Pop Douglas as well with Drake May in there for sure.
Tight end. Same
I think
kind of question.
Flex a tight end and start a tight end.
You were Ferguson over Njoku. I was Njoku over Ferguson, but I think I'm with you. I think I take them both.
Yep, I've taken them both as well. So, but that's it for me. You go ahead and take over. Almost to the end. There's just like 5 or 6. Well, some have come in since then, but
okay. You want to answer that one real quick before you bail or no?
Yep.
Tell me to Tracy.
Morning, fellas. Tracy.
Okay.
And I'm on
you guys Tracy later. As well. Thanks, brother. Good luck to you this week. We're not playing each other, so you feel free to win.
I will try my best.
Good luck with that beautiful little girl of yours.
Later. See you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Bryce. All right. Alone in the cockpit. This always sucks. You feel like you're talking to yourself. But Edward, yeah, I think I'm on Tracy as well. I do like Cedric Tillman, and I do like him a lot. I'm worried about his matchup against the Chargers this week. They've been pretty decent against the wide receiver season to date. And I'm also worried about his schedule coming up. I don't have it in front of me, but it is not the nicest thing in the world. But if he goes off this week, he might be somebody I'm looking to move. Cody, thank you for all the questions this week. I pick up Ferguson when Laporta was not doing anything. Yeah, that's a great move, right? And now you have the luxury and maybe the headache of them both. But like I said, I am a little bit higher ahead on Ferguson and Laporta this week. But what you guys have to take into consideration here is when I'm talking about my tight end rankings and between 8 and 12, that might be a half a point, right? So it is literally a coin flip. The weather being what it is in Green Bay with the rain, the fact that Detroit has played almost all of their games indoors and will continue to after this, I might fade it a little bit more than I normally would. But I'm going to be Ferguson over Laporte in almost any situation this week. AJ comes in. Need to stream quarterback. Geno Smith, William, or Goff? Someone help me with William. Williams? So Caleb Williams? Okay. Smith, Williams, or Goff? I believe I have Smith ranked the highest. So let me pull it up here really quick. I am at Geno at 10, Caleb at 11, and Goff I have down at 16, just not the passing volume we're getting out of him. So I would be going with Geno Smith here. I think if it's as nasty as I don't know, Arizona's defense isn't that bad for Williams, I'm still Geno over that one. It's a tough one though. It's Goff is a distant third here though, which sounds weird, but it's true. Gluck Guy 56, Brian Thomas Jr., Rico Dobbs, Keenan Allen, Jalen Waddle, pick 2. He's leaning Brian Thomas Jr. and Dobbs with Allen as a backup if Brian Thomas Jr. is out. I would agree with that. Brian Thomas Jr. is in. So I'm going to go with Waddle and Brian Thomas Jr. as my 2, and my flex is probably going to be Dobbs. Madison jumping in. Just a reminder, picking who you start also depends on your opponent. If they go off or do nothing, should change who you start. Yeah, so this is a really good comment here. So if you're in a situation where you're going up against Garrett Wilson, you want to try to play some ceiling stuff here on the weekend with him off to such a great start on Thursday. And even if you're not up against something from a Thursday night, Matheson's it's an excellent point. Take a look at who your opponent is playing. If you need to shoot for the moon, you got to shoot for the moon, because you might be playing one of the top teams this week that's loaded in, or you're playing a team that has great matchups. So excellent point. Shelton wants to know Kyler Murray or Patrick Mahomes. So it's a very interesting question, and I'm surprised we haven't had more Patrick Mahomes questions this week. I have Patrick Mahomes ranked higher than I have all season. I have him at 6, and I have Kyler at 9. So I am going to go Patrick Mahomes here. I think he's in a good spot against Tampa Bay. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been a top 12 quarterback since like week 12 of last season. So I totally get why you're apprehensive. I have a league where I have Sam Darnold that I drafted, I think, in the last round, and Patrick Mahomes, who I probably grabbed in round 6 or something, 4 to 6. And I've been Sam Darnold almost all year, and this week I'm Patrick Mahomes. So it's a tougher question than it should be. But yeah, I'm going to be on Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray this week. Good luck to you. Thanks, Stefan. I greatly appreciate it. You coming in. You are one of many that keeps this thing going. So thanks so much for being here, and great luck to you this week. I am saying in though, Tucker or Charbonneau as his RB2. I think I'm got to go with Charbonneau. I think Tucker, take the guy in the 2-headed monster versus a 3-headed monster. I love Sean Tucker, but he needs someone to get out of his way, which we saw when they did get out of his way when White was out. Tucker went kind of crazy. I think it was 130-something yards. I don't expect that every week. But Zach Charbonnet should be involved in that offense regardless of what Kenneth Walker's doing, more so to an extent that Sean Walker will be in Tampa. So I'm going to stick with Charbonnet here. Start 2, sit 3. Okay. Elijah Moore, Flowers, Coker, Leggett, Lockett. So it's easier for me to pick 2 to start. I think Tyler Lockett has to go this week with DK Metcalf on the shelf. And now I'm between Moore, Flowers, Jalen Coker, and Leggett. I really like Elijah Moore this week, but I'll stick with Zay Flowers. I'm a little bit worried with what's going on in Baltimore. Not that I'm worried about Zay Flowers. I'm worried about the amount of stuff that there is for Lamar Jackson to use now, but I'll stick with Flowers for one more week. Dalton says start 2, Pittman, ETN, D-Hop, McMillan, and Waddle. It's definitely Pittman for 1, and ETN will be my 2nd. I'm still a little unsure on D-Hop. McMillan is yet to have happen to him what I think can in that offense. and Waddle's just a little bit too inconsistent. So I know ETN is banged up this week, but I always err to the side where there's a clear path to touches, and ETN definitely has that over Waddle, but I love Pittman against my Minnesota Vikings this week. I'd start just about anything at wide receiver against the Vikings as they bleed fantasy points. Starting to Pollard, Stevenson, Chase Brown, or Hunt. For me, it's going to be Pollard and Chase Brown. That's how I have it ranked. I know Pollard's a little bit banged up, but I have him in a really good spot against New England. And Chase Brown has become the number one guy in Cincinnati, and he's got a pretty good matchup too. So I'm going to go with those two. Elijah Moore or Wan'Dale. This is a good one that I'm going to have to take a look at my rankings for. I don't really like the situation against the Chargers this week for the Browns, but I do like how Elijah Moore has kind of come back up off the scrap heap from now that he's got a decent quarterback, or at least someone to look at. So very closely in my rankings, Wan'Dale's at 35, Elijah Moore's at 37. So this one's going to be sort of, I'll get on the fence and give you a floor ceiling type of an answer. My floor play would be Wan'Dale because I think he's going to see the targets. My ceiling play would be Elijah Moore because I think he has more upside. But right now I have it ranked Wan'Dale ahead of Elijah. So that's kind of where. Sorry, I have Wan'Dale ahead of Elijah Moore. Sometimes I ramble so much I confuse myself. But yeah, good luck to you. Hopefully that helps, that ridiculous ramble. Jacob Graff, Odunze, Tillman, or Chubb for full PPR flex. I'm going to be Cedric Tillman here, and I would go Tillman, Chubb, Odunze. Odunze's days are yet to come. His best is yet to come. Just hasn't really clicked quite yet. But yeah, give me Cedric Tillman here. Thanks for your question, and good luck to you this week. Shane, running back question. You start Tyler Algier over McNichols, even though Brian Robinson Jr. is out? I do not. Do I? Oh. Actually, I'm going to just change my mind here. I think there's a lot of offense in that Atlanta-Dallas game, and I think there's enough for Tyler Algier to get some carries while Bijan gets his touches through the ground and the air. McNichols will be involved more so, obviously, with Brian Robinson Jr. out, but what Bryce and I alluded to earlier is Austin Eckler might pick up 5 to 6 more carries, and that's probably enough to put him in line with what Tyler Algier sees for volume, and Tyler Algier's in a better spot. So I'll go Algier, yes. And Cody, another question from Cody, Reed or Hunt at the flex? I'm going to be with Reed here. I do understand the weather is nasty. I do think the strength of the Buccaneers defense is the ground. So not the greatest situation for Kareem Hunt this week. And I think it's a really, really big get-right game for Patrick Mahomes. So that's where I'm leaning right now. You guys in the chat, if you have any other questions, let me know, or want to fire something off at me, or answer this for Cody. That's cool. Our viewership is dwindling. Bryce is the star of this show. We're down to 8. I'm all caught up in my questions. I do have an interesting question for you guys, though. In a dynasty league, what would you be willing to give up for Tyreek Hill? I did make a trade earlier today looking for some help in a rebuild. So I did end up moving off of him, and I did get a first, but it's a late first. So I'm wondering if you guys think that's enough. Always, Josh, always school. Something about being a Vikings fan I'm worried about today as well. Lost a tight one against the Lions. Played like crap against the Rams. And I don't know. I'm a little worried about Joe Flacco this week. It's funny, you play the Rams and they get Puka and Cooper Kupp back, and then you play the Colts and they make the move off of Anthony Richardson. It's almost like the league is conspiring against Minnesota. I know that's not the case, but love my Vikings, and hopefully they don't kill me again this year. You are very welcome, Jacob. Thank you. Flowers, Pittman, or JSN? I'm on Pittman this week. I just think he's in a good spot against those Vikings that I just talked about. We give up a ton to the wide receiver, and Joe Flacco's an incredible upgrade against Anthony Richardson, especially passing. Yeah. Yeah, we did play 2 games in 4 days, and I think that's a great point. And I do think we're a lot better than our record show in the last few weeks. I'm just a little worried about the defense. Goff got the ball out real quick against us, and then Stafford did the same thing. So I'm just hoping we haven't cracked any secrets to beating the Vikings, but hopefully we win tonight and I can get off the window ledge. Deep keeper league question. With no Zach Moss, is Travion Williams or Kendall Milton worth a look in running back in Cincinnati? So I am not even going to prepare. First of all, I'm going to learn how to talk. I am not going to pretend that I know anything about Kendall Milton. And Travion Williams seems to be that guy that's always there as a possibility, and I don't see it. Man, I guess Travion this week because I don't know who the hell Kendall Milton is, but I think that Zach Moss, is he officially out? I know he was questionable, but yeah, if I had to, like gun to my head, I would pick Travion here, but I would prefer to look elsewhere. Flacco rolls out of bed with 100 yards. I think he might roll out of bed with close to 200 yards. That dude seems to do whatever the hell he wants. Like Bryce and I, it's kind of our long-standing joke that these older quarterbacks don't give a shit. They'll do whatever they want. He is the ultimate gunslinger. And just, he's fun to watch, man. NK, Jaden Reed versus Detroit or BTJ at flex. If Brian Thomas Jr. is going, which he's supposed to, I'm going to lean towards him. Jaden Reed's been a little bit inconsistent and the weather's a little bit nasty in Green Bay. So I'll go with Brian Thomas Jr. here, and hopefully that works out for you. All right, so I'm all caught up here. I'm going to chill for a second. I think I have some roster moves and rankings to update. I know I got Amari Cooper in my rankings still. I got Brian Thomas Jr. in my rankings still. So I'll probably just click away at that and keep my eye on the screen here. If we don't get anything in the next couple of minutes, I'll probably just bounce and wish you all a good week 9. So I'll just hang tight here, and we'll see what happens. So Amari Cooper was 49th in my rankings. He comes out. Coleman's going to probably move up a little bit here as a result, but not a lot because I don't think he's really that, benefiting that much over Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper himself is kind of on an island in Buffalo as he learns that offense. So I'm actually going to leave Coleman at 32 where I have him. And then I had Brian Robinson Jr. at 27. So he'll come out of my rankings. That's going to bump Eckler up above Bucky Irving, Rico Dowdle. And he'll nestle in at running back 30, right behind Rashid White. I've got Ezekiel Elliott in my rankings still. See you later, dude. You're a healthy scratch. Deontay Foreman is out. He's in my rankings. That's not going to do anything to my rankings in terms of Jerome Ford or Nick Chubb. He's going to stay in. So, all right. With Kittle on bye, I picked up Hunter Henry. Good. Keep him or go Jonnu or Gesicki. So I'm probably going to stick with Hunter Henry here, the fact that Drake May is in the lineup. I will say, though, that Mike Gesicki has been targeted like crazy with games in which T. Higgins hasn't played. So I don't trust Jonnu. I'm going to go with Henry, but I would have Gesicki as my next guy up there. James Conner or DJ Moore PPR? I think James Conner. Matt, good to see you this week, man. One sec. I think James Conner's safer, so I'll go with him. But if you need a kind of a dart throw ceiling play, I think DJ Moore's the move. But I feel much more confident with James Conner over DJ Moore this week. Nikolai, hi, thanks for answering. Urgently, Algier or Parker Washington? I think it's Algier here. I like Parker Washington's situation, but that's a risque move. And I think Tyler Algier is good for 8 to 10 fantasy points almost every week. So if you need big, go Parker Washington. But if you're just trying to put a lineup in and you're pretty competitive, stick with Tyler Algier. Thank you, Cody. Always good to see you. Always glad to have you in here. We thank you all very much for being in here on a weekly basis. It is awesome to be able to do this. So thank you. Without you, we don't get to do it. Joshua jumps in and says, who should I start for a flex? What did I just do there? Let's try that again. Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, Reed, or Shakir? This one's down between Chase Brown and Shakir for me, and I will go with Chase Brown. I just think he's a little bit safer, but I do really like Shakir this week. Reed's out because of weather. Chuba, it's a good roster, man. I think he's trying to shake it up and trade somebody, but yeah, Chase Brown for me. Okay, I got that one, Nikolai. Thank you so much. Good luck to you. Hopefully that works out with you or for you. Pardon me. Hunter Olave. This one is Olave for me. I know he's been a little bit inconsistent and a little bit frustrating. I think Tampa Bay is susceptible through the air, not so much the ground. So I think KC throws the ball a little bit more. But if you're totally stuck, I can't see Hunt being a bad option. But if I had Olave to pick over him, that's what I would do. You're actually one of the better YouTubers for responding, subscribing for sure. Appreciate you. Thanks, NK. Yeah, we do our best. You know, we're not inundated with the numbers that a lot of the bigger guys are, so we can take our time to go through these questions. One thing you'll get from me is rambling and explaining my choices on a weekly basis. So thank you much for the subscribe. Anybody else in here, if you want to like, subscribe, click the notification. You won't miss one of our Boom Bust shows every week. But yes, NK, thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciated. Full PPR pick 2 from Joshua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jacoby Myers, Rashid White, Josh Downs, Keenan Allen, Lab McConkey. For another league, pick 1, Rashad White or Tracy. So I'll start with the other league. I'll go with Tracy over Rashad White. And picking 2, I am going to be Josh Downs for sure. And then it comes down to Harrison Myers. It's going to be 2 of these wide receivers. So it's definitely Josh Downs. And I'm going to be Lad McConkey or Josh or Jacob Bobby Myers. This is way easier when you got somebody else in here you can talk to when you're talking through it, not yourself. But yeah, it'll be Josh Downs, who's in my top 12 this week, and Jacoby Myers. I just think it's a good spot for him as well. Good luck to you. Taysom Hill, Mike Gesicki, or Zach Ertz. I have Ertz ranked higher. I would have Gesicki second. I would have Taysom Hill third. Cade Otton or Dalton Kincaid? It is Kincaid, is it? I don't know. This is a tough one for me. Cade Otton's really emerged with the wide receivers going down. Yeah, I have Otton at 6, Kincaid at 9. So, man, that's a tough one. It's a coin flip, though. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, you're talking like next to nothing in terms of point differential. Pick 2, Harrison, Flowers, DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Pittman Jr. I'm going to go with Michael Pittman Jr. and Zay Flowers here. Good luck to you. Joshua, I also have Olave, my wide receiver 2. Should I change that? So that's back to here. Olave is – no, I would not change that. Stick with Olave in that spot. Juan Pena Jr., thanks for being here. Who from a wide receiver 2 and tight end? Wandale, Josh Downs, DJ Moore, Jacoby Myers, or Mooney? Absolutely Josh Downs from here. Tight end, Ertz, Henry, Gesicki, Hill, Likely, or Disley. Man, that's a lot of tight ends to roster. I am going to be on Ertz here out of that laundry list of tight ends. If I was going to go with anybody over Ertz, it would be Hunter Henry. But I have them. I almost have them ranked how you have them listed. The top 3 would be Ertz, Henry, Gesicki for me. So yeah, I'm Josh Downs to pair with Justin Jefferson and Zach Ertz. Good looking lineup and good luck to you. All right, I am caught up. I think I'm going to bounce here, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Best of luck to everybody in week 9. I know it's getting a little bit ugly out there with the number of guys that we have on bye and or injured, but I wish you all the best. Come on back to see us next week for week 10. Bryce and I will be back. And until then, thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell. We'll see you next week. Cheers.